So this year for my eMagine project, I landed on the idea of doing a animation again. The last time I had done an animation was my freshman year. I thought, hey, just do another one, something I know. It's very similar to what I had experienced, but my approach was a little bit different than I had. I had a storyline that I vaguely followed. I had things I changed every so often. The good part about what I did was I kind of started on one end and made my way towards the middle, and then when time got short, I jumped to the end, finished it, and then anything in between that I wanted to fix, I could. So I was working in Flash CS6. Most likely, if you're watching this video, you're going to be using Animate, which is Adobe's new version of it. I only used this old version because it's what I know, and so I was like, don't really want to learn something new. So I think the most valuable thing that I did was I learned how to animate movement a little bit better. Classic tweens are really what got this whole project done. Previously, I had just been working with tweens. I did a little bit more scene. I think it's called scene and scene, where every frame that is shown is hand drawn. I did that a lot for the flapping of the eagle's wings, and then also for the movement of the guy's feet. So a big thing that I did this time versus my freshman year, I used images to make my animation look more real. So I would drop a photo in, and then I would trace it and add my own details to make it look more like my animation. I use that mainly for the background. So for my movies, I'd have the background, which would be the sky, and then I have the middle ground, which usually would be what I drew, and then followed by that, I'd have the foreground, and then I would have my characters who would either be in the middle ground or in the foreground. All right. I guess I should talk about the struggles that I had. I believe time was my biggest struggle because in animation, time is probably the biggest constraint that you have, and how you use that time really affects how your project's going to turn out. For me, I got sick, and that really kind of knocked me down. But I was able to get back up and start working again. Any advice that I would give, know where you're going. If I were to do it all over again, I would plan out my story a little bit better than I did. I did all right, but I feel like I could have done just a little bit better. And then also I would plan my scenes. I know I had a lot of stuff and not exactly a lot of time, but I really wish I would have, for one, gotten my story down. I would have maybe learned how to do character movement a lot better. You can probably tell how crappy the guy walks. That's because I got back from being sick. I'm like, shoot, this guy needs to walk, and I have no idea how to do that. And don't be afraid to experiment with the different aspects. I've never actually used the bone tool, but I mean, maybe if I were to do it another time, I'd try it out and see what happens. So in conclusion, I felt like my project was good. I struggled with time a little bit, but overall, I'm very pleased in my work, and I thought it was a lot of fun, because that's what Vision Tech's about, right? It's about fun. So if you ever do an animation, or if you're watching this video because you need some help on animation, just know that it's what you make it, and your style will be kind of the coolest part about it, I guess. So don't be afraid to do what you want to do and do it how you want to do it. That being said, you probably want to make it with some sort of storyline. Otherwise, it's just as Mrs. Dink would say, a hot mess. So yeah, I think I had a lot of fun, and I hope I'll be able to do it again sometime. But for the moment, I'm kind of tired of it, and so well, I guess that's it. So thank you much.